Big Herc 916, getting down with Fresh Out, and you tuned in to another prison talk. So they hit the Rollin 60s, that they got a 19-person indictment, and listed in that indictment, they got Bricc Baby, Luce Cannon, and
Talk a little bit about Mr. Henley and the street gang here. As I said, Mr. Henley is a widely known leader within the Rollin 60s. He rose to prominence in that gang decades ago, and he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts, all things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at youth risk escape gang life and escape the perils of gangs in high crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him. For example, Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway. He then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan. On that application, Mr. Henley falsely stated that his music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front. He used it to conceal his fraudulent activities, his criminal enterprises activities, and evade detection from law enforcement. If convicted on the racketeering conspiracy, he and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal prison sentence. I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners who brought about the result here today. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Gang Task Force from the FBI. It's comprised of FBI agents, LAPD officers, IRS criminal investigation, the U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's Office, Los Angeles Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department. This case is a great example of state and federal law.
They got a list of charges that they're stacking these guys with, and they said it was mafia style crimes. They're getting hit with the RICO. Now, the internet, when you see people talking on the internet, you have to wonder, why are you talking about business that's not public business?
He'll be like, he'll manipulate things. Like, we'll go and do something, and the same niggas we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to, counting everything, right? And we be like, how the fuck they get that? Oh, well, we're going to just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But because it's actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police shit. I seen the nigga get like 20 guns. And when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like shit like that. And I didn't catch on. So it was like, I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm his right-hand man. You get what I'm saying? So when it came down to like dirt and stuff like that, I'm going to get it. You get what I'm saying? And then like one day.
You know why he wanted to get a dude back to 40, right? Because he was going to make dude give him 20.
I never understood that. When I have people come on my show I want them to talk about the negative side of the street life so that they can positively influence the viewers without glorifying. But a lot of these cats now, they just want to get people to like and follow, and so they just tell all their business. Why? And then you got guys that are always in everybody else's business, and you have to wonder if these guys know so much about everybody, how are they getting all their information? See, the game is now they want to control the whole game with informants. They're getting rid of any and everybody that stands by anything. And I've never met any of these guys named in Indictment. I don't know them personally. I'm just saying that the way the entertainment game, the hip hop game, this game in general, as far as the social media game, if they can slide somebody up underneath you or trick these dudes into putting their business out there, getting them all relaxed, sending a female at them, getting them some drugs, letting them get high, or get on some drink, pillow talk. That's the game, man. When people start asking you questions about stuff, oh man, you heard about whoop de wop or blah blah blah, and you're like, why you ask me about that? And why is all this stuff broadcasted? A lot of this stuff shouldn't even be said on the public airways. Why are you talking about it in the public? It's a it's a shady game, man. And it appears that they have informants who are also cooperating. Who knows how long these people have been, working with these people, man. But your circle's got to be small. And if you plan on surviving, the wave, you can't really be on this internet talking about business, man. And anybody who's just like publicly always banging and bragging and they seem to be immune from anything, you got to question them. I know a lot of dudes who are about that business, but they will not come on the platform, even though they're not doing anything. They don't even want their faces shown. They old school. I said, man, an OG like you would really have an impact on these young people. Like, oh man, I'm cool, Hurt. I'm cool. I watch your stuff. I support you. I like what you're doing, but I can't come on there and talk about anything. And I respect that. I respect that. I would never tell somebody to come on here anyways and brag about shit they never got caught for, or brag about shit they did and got away with. Who does that? What idiot brags about crimes that they committed they never got caught for so that people will feel some kind of way about them? Keep that shit to yourself. Is anything sacred? Nah, not with a lot of these dudes, especially in the hip hop. And see, they move people out of the way for certain other people to get in there, and then now it's a controlled situation. See, LA is a hell of a landscape. I've been in the system, and I know a lot of cats from LA, and a lot of stand-up dudes, a lot of guys I've been in, done time with, been in the system with, but there's a lot of money in LA. There's a lot of business in LA, and there's a lot of unseen power struggles going on in LA. I would imagine they have it in other big cities like, Houston, maybe Miami, uh, parts of New York, Atlanta, but LA's impact on the globe is seen in volumes. You got guys in other countries that are claiming streets from LA that they've never seen. I went to Japan, Tokyo, back in 1999, and I seen Japanese dudes with cornrows and Pendletons and khakis with LA hats on like they were from LA. LA is no joke. And as a result of that, and the type of players you have out there, you have a lot of, I call it, uffery going on. Dudes trying to move other dudes out the way, and dudes uh, taking advantage of situations. The streets talk, people hear stuff. Doesn't mean you got to go back and repeat it. One of the things they always tell you in prison is, you hear a conversation, sometimes it's better you not even to hear that conversation, because if you repeat it, there could be consequences. And for a lot of guys I've seen on this social media stuff that claim they've done time or, been in the system, they do a lot of talking. They do a lot of jaw japping, man, and I just never understood it. And then there's platforms where they actually coax conversations out of guys so that they'll talk about things that will lead to other things. I see it, man. I like, whoa, those are some dangerous platforms. And those platforms, they stay at the top of the algorithm. They get a lot of views, and if they can't get that person, they'll bring in other people to talk about that person that claim they know that person to implicate that person. We've seen the internet take down a lot of dudes, man. And, you know, they'll use social media to put a label on you before you've got a chance to even defend yourself. So I'm not speaking for the guys who got arrested. Like I said, I don't know any of them. All I know is how the game is played. I know how the system will put you in a position and say you're a leader or you're somebody who has influence, and that's an enhancement. Also, you guys always talking about your gang activity. That's an enhancement. The gang activity also ties you into organized crime. That's an enhancement. You got to study your law, man. You got to study your law. And when you got these guys trying to argue, you don't know if they're recording the other side of the conversation. Watch yourself, man. I had a cat one time call me and he started talking about somebody. And then I'm like, why is he talking about this guy like this? And he kept asking me a bunch of questions. I come to find out this dude had recorded the conversation and was going to try to put it out on the web. And I'm like, dude, I've come to find out, and that's what type of, and this is supposed to be a dude who been in the system. But you got these kind of people out there. You got to be careful, man. There's a lot of cats out here, man, who will throw you under the bus for views. So watch yourself, man. Watch yourself, and I'm careful who I even put on my platform now, because I got guys who be reaching out and I don't know what their ulterior motive is. Like, why are you so anxious? What do you want to come on so bad for? What is your angle? People always everybody has an angle. Everybody has an angle. And if you look at all the different agencies that is tied into this investigation, you got, with the IRS, you got the FBI, you got the LAPD, you have, I don't know who else is up there, maybe, I don't know if it's DEA, but you have these different organizations, and then you got different people who are calling hotlines in these different organizations, and man, it doesn't take much for them to crack something wide open, especially when you got all these people who are speaking on you. But they go after these individuals But yet we have this game of the wild game, and we've seen quite a few people get pulled in. And I just have to mention, but nobody with the Epstein stuff, huh? Still nobody with the Epstein, but you guys are gonna go after some Rolling 60s Crips. This shit is wild. Game is wild. Leave a comment, share the channel. Big Hurt 916 getting down, fresh down prison talk.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at Bricc.